My name is Narayan Bharadwaj. I'm the Vice President of Product Management for VMware Cloud and AWS at VMware. Thank you for joining us in this time of COVID-19. We truly appreciate it. I have been the product management lead for this service since day one, and I'm excited to talk to you today about a recap of what the service does, as well as some of our recent highlights this year and a sneak peek at our roadmap. If you recall, VMware Cloud and AWS is a jointly engineered service along with our friends from AWS. This has truly changed the landscape in enterprise IT. We believe this is now borne out by our customers and partners as a true hybrid cloud solution that meets the needs of enterprise IT as they look to transition to the public cloud and to this unique service in the market. At its core, it's the VMware software stack combined with the cloud scale and elasticity of AWS. It's the best of both worlds coming together to offer a highly differentiated service offering in the market today. And we have been in the market now for 2.5 years, and we have an amazing number of customers and partners using the service for their production, non-production, and many other workloads today. The service, if you recall, is sold, operated by VMware, although we've also added the capability for AWS to resell this offering. It is a highly elastic service offering. It's on demand. You can purchase subscriptions, 1 year, 3 years, etc. The service is fully consistent with your on-prem infrastructure. If your customers are using vSphere, vSAN, NSX, they get a very similar experience with VMware Cloud and AWS. We have all kinds of capabilities that tie together your on-prem infrastructure with the public cloud SDDC-based infrastructure across 16 commercial and US government locations. And so that really presents a true hybrid cloud service to customers. In addition, we integrate with the broad set of AWS services that really provides customers with the ability to construct new and innovative applications. Now, let's dig into some of the recent highlights of the service offering this year. So even by VMC standards, we have been going at a very fast pace this year, and we have launched a number of new capabilities in the market. Again, all of these capabilities have been launched with a very close eye on the customer feedback that we have constantly been getting via the service as customers have been using it over the last 2.5 years. I just wanted to call out a few quick highlights here. First of all, our SDDC software stack that continues to go rapidly and provide new innovations to our customers and partners. So the 1.10 and the 1.10 V2 release have been launched this year, and they provide all kinds of innovations from an NSX, vSphere, and vSAN standpoint. One of the key features that we have shipped is what we call large SDDC, where customers now have the ability to scale up the SDDC as they scale out the number of workloads on the SDDC platform. And this really involves scaling up the vCenter and NSX within the SDDC. We've made a lot of progress in terms of enabling customers and partners to sign up directly through our website. We have reintroduced direct through web with a credit card, $2,000 prepay that's now live across all our global regions. This really enables customers to sign up, transact, and deploy an SDDC in literally 2 hours or less on any of the global regions around the world. In addition, we more recently added Stockholm to our portfolio in Europe as our 16th region. And we also launched GovCloud US West as a fully available region, typically for federal, state, and local customers. As we know, we're all in this time of COVID-19, and we are seeing a surge in customer and partner asks to get going on the cloud, specifically on VMware Cloud and AWS. And we are mainly seeing an ask for VDI. And so VMware has announced a broader set of business continuity solutions, including VMware Cloud on AWS and VDI as part of that. And we've added some capabilities to enable the VDI use case in a better way. One of them is really this notion of rapid scale out of hosts with our elastic DRS capability. And this is really nice for VDI when customers need to rapidly expand their user base and the number of desktops, and the infrastructure is able to automatically scale out rapidly to meet that customer demand. In addition, we have been listening to customers very closely, and that has really prompted us to launch what we call notification gateway as a service. And as part of that, now we are really notifying customers, making them, giving them a lot more visibility about key business and technical events that are happening in the service. And so some examples of that are SDDC upgrade or maintenance events. We send them all sorts of notifications before, during, and after these upgrades. Elastic DRS, when Elastic DRS is doing its thing and adding or contracting the infrastructure stack based on a policy that's set, we are notifying users as well. And a lot more beyond that. Some of the business notifications are in the area of expiring subscriptions so that users can understand that they need to go in and recreate new subscriptions, be it 1 year or 3 year subscriptions, to get the best possible price for VMware Cloud on AWS. And these are available across a variety of channels. Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier that you are seeing a growing number of customer adopting the platform, but actually you didn't give any real number, actual number. And also, I'm curious to know how many of these customers are in Europe and how many in the US, for example.
Yeah. I think what I can say is, look, I mean, we are getting a broad range of adoption across many different verticals, across global regions. Our presence in Europe is very partner driven, and it's really coming through very nicely. We are seeing a surge in Europe and Asia due to VDI and COVID. So we are very happy with the level of adoption we are seeing around the globe. And frankly, we are seeing a lot more in Europe and Asia in the last couple of months, given this lockdown that we are all under right now.
Are they customers, or are they, also big organizations, big projects that are deployed on the platform?
Yeah, great question. I think we see a combination. We have many large customers. Increasingly, we are seeing good penetration in the federal space in many of these countries, in the UK, in Australia. And we're also seeing a number of small customers coming onto the platform, self-service. We actually did note that we had a brief capacity crisis in Sydney, which was resolved pretty quickly. But again, we noted on our status page that we were seeing a huge demand due to COVID-19, and we acknowledged that demand, and we added capacity fairly quickly. So that gives you a sense of some of the surge that we are seeing for the VMware Cloud and AWS service. Good question.
Right. I have a quick question about this elastic DRS rapid scale out. I presume that's basically about reducing the time between each host getting added after the previous one, so the delay between the next host. If true, then first of all, what is that delay now? And secondly, is it just for VDI or in general the service? So if you want to use it for DR, for example, can you or can't?
Yeah, it's a general purpose feature add. So if you recall, Elastic DRS, 3 different rules. We added a 4th general purpose rule, which we can add now 4 hosts at a time, right? If you recall, each host add takes about 10 to 15 minutes, give or take. But now you can add 4 hosts at a single time, right, in increments of 4. And so that really gives you that boost in capacity in a very short span of time in parallel. Right? That's what we have done. And it's applicable not just for VDI, but we can leverage it for any number of use cases as needed.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Sorry. Also, you mentioned with large SDDC, you were talking about scale up, and later on you were talking about scale out. So does scale up mean go to bigger instances, or what does it mean?
Yeah, so I think the way to think about it is we have our management set of appliances that's managed by VMware, including NSX components, vCenter. And so as customers add more workloads to the SDDC, to their clusters, they do require these management components to be a little bit more beefy. And so we scale up these management components seamlessly now to meet their workload needs. And so that's really what the feature does.
So you're effectively upgrading the NSX manager from, let's say, medium to large.
Yeah, we don't use the upgrade word for that scenario. We just say that we resize the appliance, the management appliances, to be larger.
Yeah. Thank you.
Great. And notifications are available in all kinds of different channels. And this has been a very popular feature. Let me talk about automation real quick. We are very focused on providing infrastructure as code. And a big piece of that is our embrace of Terraform in a pretty big way. And so you will see us on GitHub sites, on HashiCorp as well, right? We have now Terraform cookbooks for NSX and VMC service, and we're rapidly adding even more to our portfolio. Again, completely based on customer asks. And then last but not least, compliance, right? Ongoing area of improvement for us. Today, we have about 15 different compliance certifications in the bag across many different global regions. We are constantly adding new ones. The big one is G-Cloud 12 that we've gone through more recently, as well as the security principles in UK. We launched FISC for Japan earlier this year as well. So it's an area of great progress, and I'll talk about some of the roadmap aspects as well. In the broader ecosystem of VMware Cloud and AWS, we are constantly adding new capabilities and new service certifications. Tanzu Kubernetes Grid Plus is one of the new capabilities. By itself, it launched as a GA offering from VMware about a month ago, and it's certified to run on VMC. The value for this is for customers to create Kubernetes clusters with VMware Cloud and AWS and present that to their business units. It's a great offering. We'll be evangelizing this a lot more. Many customers want to leverage Kubernetes on VMC for their internal teams. We're also now officially listed on the Red Hat site as well. Now, in terms of the broader portfolio of VMware Cloud services, you may have seen announcements for vRealize Operations Cloud just last week, and that's also certified for VMC workloads, as well as ongoing improvements with our vRealize Network Insight cloud service as well. And then again, the portfolio is expanding fairly quickly. I mean, we have SD-WAN by VeloCloud now certified for branch offices to connect to VMware Cloud and AWS. We have customers leveraging the solution today. And then in our broader ISV portfolio, last year it was 130 or so, if I remember correctly. Right now at this point, I did a quick check. We have upwards of 230 partners that have qualified their solutions and their apps to work on VMware Cloud and AWS. So really happy to see that ecosystem really grow. Let's talk about roadmap just for a little while. I want to mention a few key capabilities and not have to go through all of these items. So feel free to ask me any questions. First of all, storage and networking continues to be an area of investment for us. There's so much to do. The NSX team continues to bring to market many new innovations, and we're intersecting all of those innovations with VMware Cloud and AWS. And so we do have a lot of networking capabilities, whether it's scaling out NSX Edge for super large customers that are using VMC today, that really helps them a lot to get even more scale. So we talked about scale up. This is all about scaling out the NSX stack so that we can meet even higher traffic needs for our customers. We are committed to integrating with a very popular AWS service called AWS Transit Gateway that lets customers connect many SDDCs in the cloud or SDDCs with their own AWS VPCs, and in addition, also with on-prem. And so that's a very powerful feature. We'll likely cover it a little bit more later today. And then the broader portfolio of NSX Advanced Services. There are 7 firewalls and many other capabilities that NSX offers, which will also become part of VMware Cloud and AWS. On the storage side, we continue to innovate. In addition to networking, we will offer a better way to manage storage policies within clusters. And we continue to work diligently on our cost-optimized disaster recovery integrated with S3 as well. I talked about compliance, a big area for us. As you all know, we're already what we call FedRAMP High in process as part of that program. And we are very close to getting our authority to operate more formally. The other big one for us is PCI. It's a big one for many different regions around the world. And we already have communicated publicly that we have been working to comply with that certification. And then let me talk about, commerce is, again, an area of growth for us. We continue to provide new commerce vehicles. We provided monthly billing earlier this year. We're enhancing that to be a lot more partner-friendly, as well as offer convertible subscriptions so that customers can pay a little extra but get the flexibility to swap between instance types in the future. And then last but not least, right, our cloud services portfolio is, again, continuing to expand. One of the things that I'm truly excited about is this notion of our cloud platform. I blogged about it last year during VMworld. And so we call this the hybrid cloud platform. The customer representation of this is this unified console where we bring together VMware Cloud and AWS, as well as our sister offerings, VMware Cloud and LEMC, and later on VMware Cloud and AWS Outposts. All of these managed VMware services will be represented holistically in one service offering with one user experience, with one set of APIs, and all of the additional capabilities that are common across these services, such as Elastic DRS, the way we do auto scaling, the way we do upgrades, and a lot more. And then beyond that, we are looking to our friends within VMware to add on other capabilities. VMware Cloud Director service for managed service providers is particularly exciting because we've gotten a lot of demand, a lot of ask from MSPs to be able to slice up the SDDC infrastructure stack for their smaller tenants. And so we're looking to continually improve ways to get a lot more TCO for the SDDCs. And this is a particularly exciting feature for our partners. And then the RV Networks acquisition by VMware last year will come through as a certified service on VMC as well. We call that the NSX Advanced Load Balancer, which has an amazing range of capabilities that customers are asking for. And then last but not least, we continue to improve our Kubernetes portfolio with the vSphere 7 release that happened more recently, and the Kubernetes offering as part of vSphere 7. We will bring that natively into VMC as well as a managed Kubernetes service.
A question on Transit Gateway integration. Is this just the orchestration system integration, or is there control or data plane integration?
Yeah, so I think the way to think about it is this is a full service by AWS. And so VMware will offer a managed Transit Gateway, which fully orchestrates the underlying knobs from AWS Transit Gateway. So really the customer experience will be going to the VMware Cloud and AWS console and then telling VMware that they want to connect, let's say, 5 SDDCs together into one group. and then behind the scenes we'll connect them with TGW, right? And so we manage that TGW on the customer's behalf because we just want to make it a full solution, easy to use, and customers can tell VMware their connectivity needs, which we'll orchestrate on their behalf on the back end.
So you're effectively providing an umbrella orchestration system.
That's right.
Thank you.
A full solution, yeah.
So one question on that further question is that once VMware has assisted the customer to do that, the billing still goes into the linked AWS account, I presume. And can the customer going forward use the same transit gateway mechanism to add their own sites to it or other accounts as well?
Yeah, great question. Think about transit gateways as two parts. The part that's orchestrated and managed by VMware goes to the VMware bill because we instantiate TGW and we orchestrate it on the customer's behalf. It's no different from the shadow VPC that we orchestrate today, and you get you get all the line items. We don't intend to price for it. We just pass on the line items to the VMware bill. In addition, customers can instantiate their own TGWs in their own AWS accounts and use it to connect with a VMware TGW as well, if they so choose to.
Right. So it's a separate
AWS bill.
Oh, okay, fair enough. So it's separate TGWs. You just obviously have to keep linking. So it's not, they can't access and extend it, if you like.
That's right.
Right.
So
okay.
I have a similar question as the previous one about NSX, but related to the Cloud Director service. It will be a kind of umbrella as previously answered for NSX. So, I mean, it will be an umbrella covering the machines on AWS so that the customer, in that case, the customer is the MSP, will only manage that service, and the underlay of ESXi is just managed as a service, or kind of this, or what kind of service will be this Cloud Director?
Okay, so the Cloud Director service, if you know the VCD product that has been existed for many years, is a very successful product for our partners in the VCPP market. We are converting that and creating a SaaS offering, and that that SaaS offering will be on top of the core VMware Cloud on AWS platform, right? And so this higher level SaaS offering will interact with these managed SDDCs and then just subtenant them out to all of the different customers that the MSP wants to bring in. So that's the way to think about it. It's managed top to bottom. The Cloud Director service itself, the underlying SDDCs, etc. They're all fully managed, and there's internal orchestration built between these two layers to present a seamless experience to the partner. Hope that makes sense. Hope I answered your question.
Yep, sure.
I have a question regarding, you've got a nice roadmap here of storage and Kubernetes. And I noticed that in the latest vSAN release, you've added in some NFS support as well. What I'm thinking here is that for Kubernetes and that landscape, there is a much broader requirement for NFS and file-based storage. Is there room for us to look at third-party integrations as well for data stores or for the Kubernetes side of things?
Yeah, that question comes up a lot. Today, we do offer a way to connect third parties at a virtual machine level. Obviously, you can connect to multiple third-party stores. At a data store level, we have the ability to, we have a limited set of MSPs that offer an NFS, external data store model, right, today with Faction, Rackspace, and a couple of others. And so we do have that model. We do not intend to have a bring your own external data store by the end customer because it creates all kinds of operational and SLA challenges in this model, right? We are working with our storage partners to say, okay, can you bring to bear a fully managed SaaS service, present an SLA and an API to us so that we can then truly integrate with you as a cloud service, as opposed to bring your own storage and connect that, right? It becomes really hard for us to manage the SLA. Hope that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So something like what NetApp have with their managed file service in Azure and AWS, that sort of thing.
That sort of thing, yeah. Obviously, we are deepening our relationship with AWS, with Elastic Block Store, with S3, as I talked about earlier. So we really like managed data stores. And that really presents a compelling solution to our customers and partners.
Let me ask one thing real quick. I want to piggyback on the third-party integrations and stuff like that, just for clarity.
Sure.
Do you guys currently support in this model or on the roadmap also tapping into other networking components, say like ACI Anywhere, anything like that, or are we limited to the NSX portion?
Yeah, good question. Very similar to the storage question, in fact, right?
Yeah.
If you think about it, right, again, we own the SLA, the performance, the troubleshooting, and the entire upkeep of the service.
Gotcha.
And so we're very careful about what we introduce in the data path, especially whether it's the storage data path or the networking data path, right? This
Makes
is
sense.
far-reaching implications for very demanding enterprise customers. Our general direction is obviously to latch into all of the innovations from NSX. There's a lot coming there in that pipeline.
Gotcha.
And so we are always looking at interesting partner integrations, as well as capabilities coming through from VMware, and we're making that choice always based on our SLA needs.
Yep. And that makes sense because me being the customer, I really don't care what the storage or the networking is, as long as I have a service that I can tap into.
Right, and that's what we've heard from customers as well.
That makes sense.
Give us a SLA that you can stand behind at the end of the day, right? And that's really what matters.
Awesome. Thank you.